We cannot be more sensitive to pleasure without being more sensitive to pain. Life exists only at this very moment, and in this moment it is infinite and eternal, for the present moment is infinitely small. Before we can measure it, it has gone, and yet it exists forever. There will always be suffering. But we must not suffer over the suffering. Every individual is a unique manifestation of the whole, as every branch is a particular outreaching of the tree. But I'll tell you what hermits realize. If you go off into a far, far forest and get very quiet, you'll come to understand that you're connected with everything. When you get free from certain fixed concepts of the way the world is, you find it is far more subtle and far more miraculous than you thought it was. There is always something taboo, something repressed, unadmitted, or just glimpsed quickly out of the corner of one's eye because a direct look is too unsettling. Taboos lie within taboos, like the skin of an onion. No valid plans for the future can be made by those who have no capacity for living now. I have realized that the past and future are real illusions, that they exist in the present, which is what there is and all there is. This is the real secret of life, to be completely engaged with what you are doing in the here and now. And instead of calling it work, realize it is play. Try to imagine what it will be like to go to sleep and never wake up. Now try to imagine what it was like to wake up having never gone to sleep. Only words and conventions can isolate us from the entirely undefinable something which is everything. Meditation is the discovery that the point of life is always arrived at in the immediate moment. The sense of wrong is simply failure to see where something fits into a pattern, to be confused as to the hierarchical level upon which an event belongs. You didn't come into this world. You came out of it, like a wave from the ocean. You are not a stranger here. To be free from convention is not to spurn it but not to be deceived by it. The more we struggle for life, as pleasure, the more we are actually killing what we love. Everyone has love, but it can only come out when he is convinced of the impossibility and the frustration of trying to love himself. Muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. What you are basically deep down, far in, is simply the fabric and structure of existence itself. There was never a time when the world began, because it goes round and round like a circle, and there is no place on a circle where it begins. Look at my watch, which tells the time. It goes round, and so the world repeats itself again and again. We do not come into this world, we come out of it, as leaves from a tree. As the ocean, waves, the universe, peoples. The meaning of life is just to be alive. It is so plain and so obvious and so simple. And yet, everybody rushes around in a great panic as if it were necessary to achieve something beyond themselves. To put it still more plainly, the desire for security and the feeling of insecurity are the same thing. To hold your breath is to lose your breath. You are a function of what the whole universe is doing in the same way that a wave is a function of what the whole ocean is doing.